Hello, welcome to Web Lecture 4.2. We're going to continue talking about political involvement, and tonight we're going to talk about becoming a candidate. So what is it that you need to do to become a candidate for political office? Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is the candidate. You may be asking yourself, what is a candidate? Well, a candidate is a person seeking or being considered to be elected to a political office. So if you are running to become an office holder, whether that's mayor or governor or a member of the House of Representatives or senator or council member or president, if you're running for office, you are the candidate. And there can be multiple candidates for a political office, and you continue to be a candidate until you are elected and you become the office holder, or you are not elected. Now, in order to become a candidate, there are certain qualifications that you need to have. The first of those is that you must be a U.S. citizen. So to run for any office in the United States, you must be a citizen of the United States. You must be registered with the political party that you are running for. So if you are running as a Republican, you must be registered as a Republican. Or if you're running as a Democrat, you must be registered as a Democrat. If, like me, you're registered as an independent and you want to run for political office, the best thing to do is to choose one of the two major parties, and then that way you will have a better chance of getting elected, because people typically vote for people of one of the two major political parties. So you would want to run for the one, or run with the party that you think most aligns with your ideology. Then, once you are registered with your party, or assuming you are already, then in order to officially run for office, you have to pay a filing fee. And that filing fee depends greatly on the level of the office. Obviously, the office of the presidency, the filing fee is going to be more expensive than, say, something like mayor or city council member. Now, if you are not able to afford the filing fee, then you can get a certain number of signatures to show that you have support to waive that filing fee. Now, obviously, again, the higher the office, the greater the number of signatures that you have to have in order to waive the filing fee. But that's a way to get on the ballot without having to actually pay that filing fee. Now, in some places, it's not just as simple as meeting the qualifications. In some cases, you have to be part of what's called a political machine. Now, fortunately for us, political machines have mostly died out in the United States, although there are some pockets of them here and there. But essentially what a political machine is it's an unofficial system, a system and an organization that controls who the candidates are for office. And so when you are trying to become a candidate in this sort of system that has a political machine, then it makes it very difficult if you do not follow the boss. And so that's who really is in control of this political machine, is the boss of the machine. So this is basically a system of patronage where the boss does favor for the constituents or the people that are in the area, or the voters, and they then turn around and vote favorably for the people that the boss wants to be in office. So, for example, if you are a new immigrant to this country and the political boss can get you the paperwork that you need or a job that you may need, then you would turn around and vote for the candidate that boss supports. Now, usually political machines, when we talk about them, we're talking about machines that are found in cities right around the turn of the 20th century, so the late 1800s, early 1900s. And the most famous one is the Tammany Hall, which was in New York, and a man by the name of Boss Tweed controlled that political machine. And that political machine was very, very powerful, held control there for a good about 20 to 30 years, and really controlled a lot of the politics that were going on in New York at the time. But fortunately for us, political machines are pretty much gone by the wayside, and so it's simply the qualifications that you need in order to become a candidate. Now, once you become the candidate, you meet the qualifications, you pay the filing fee, you get the signatures, then you want to create your party platform. Now, your party platform is essentially a list of principles. So these are this is the stand that you take on the different issues that the public wants to hear about. So you would find that typically you're going to have a party platform that is either a little more liberal leaning or a little more conservative leaning, depending on what party is backing you. So if you're a Democrat, you're going to have a little more liberal platform, whereas if you're a Republican, you're going to have a more conservative platform. And we call it a platform because it conjures up the image that a politician or somebody running for office is standing on a stage. And so that platform is the combination of all the different issues, or the stand on all the different issues that a candidate takes. And so when we take a singular issue, that singular issue is a plank. And as you can see, I've created a little graphic here that shows that when you put all the planks together, that's when you create your platform. And so these are the individual topics, the individual views that the candidate has, and all those planks put together create this political platform. So it's sort of like a stage. So you know how a stage is made up of individual planks. You put all those planks together, then you get that platform. And so when you create your candidate for class, you're going to need to consider the planks for the issues that we've discussed so far in class, and all those ideas or views will be put together to create your platform. Now, once you have your platform, you want to become the nominee for that office. And in order to become the nominee, you have to go through an initial process. But just to clarify things, a nominee is the person that has been selected to run for office from a political party. So oftentimes you'll have multiple candidates running to become the nominee for one specific office for a political party. So you might have, so right now we have multiple Republicans that are running, multiple candidates in the Republican Party that are running to become the nominee for the Republicans for president. And in order to become the nominee, you have to go through what's called the primary election. And this is where registered voters from one party select their candidate from the larger group of candidates. And so right now you have multiple Republicans that are running to become the president. You have people like Mitt Romney and Newt Gingrich and Perry from Texas, and they're all right now candidates. Now, in November, prior to November, over the next year, essentially, there are going to be multiple primary elections in different states so that they can then choose who the nominee is going to be. And now, the nominee is then crowned or selected at the national convention. And so if you want to become the presidential nominee, you have to go to the national convention, and that's where they announce who is going to be the nominee for presidency for a particular party. So for example, here in Charlotte next summer, we're going to be having the Democratic National Committee Convention. And that convention is, for the Democrats, pretty much just sort of a pat kind of thing, because we already know that Barack Obama is going to be the nominee for the presidency for the Democratic Party. But for the Republicans, that might be a little more contentious in their nominating convention. And those conventions are held every 4 years because we elect a new president every 4 years. And it's held during the summer, so the summer before the November election. And this is where not only do they select the presidential candidate, but they also solidify the party's platform. So they really come up with the specific ideas that everybody in that party is going to run on that year. Now, the people that choose the nominee are called the delegates. These are people that are chosen from each state, usually people that are important in the political party, and they help to select the presidential candidates. Now, basically, they're just messengers, though, from their primary, or some states have what's called a caucus. And they are messengers because they've already chosen, each state has already chosen, essentially, who their candidate or who their nominee is going to be. And so the delegates are just there to basically report back to their people in their state about what the party platform is going to be, but also to officially declare who they want the nominee for their president to be. Then you have the final stage, and that is the general election. Now, the general election is the final election process. This is where registered voters from any party can go and elect a candidate to office. So if you're a Democrat, you can vote for Republican. If you're a Republican, you can vote for a Democrat. It doesn't matter. And this final election is held on Election Day, and usually that is the first Tuesday after the first Monday of November. So if the first Tuesday of November was the 1st of November, then you would not have Election Day that day. You would wait until the following week on the 8th to have Election Day. I'm not sure why, that's just what they've done. So this is what you need to do to become the candidate for office, and then what you do in order to win and become an office holder. All right, I will see you in class. Have a great night.